It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right. I was checking to see if Bill took and happened to do send me a text or anything because he ain't even come back on yet. Let's say I hear a face back. Okay, yeah. You hear the loop too. Okay, yeah. I knew I was. That's why I was like, I got to very much. But yeah, it's interesting when they're doing drywalling like that. Uh, they had this thing that they set up, a little router thing, and what they were doing, they would put the sheetrock on the wall, and then they'd come in from the side, hit it, and then they just go around like that. Then they'd patch this little bitty line there up, and then they would take and tape and bed everything. But when I was building my house, I was very cautious because I actually went in and uh, I knew where every receptacle was, everything I was putting in, what I wanted it to look like, and everything. And we ran through all of that, and that's why I knew there were three missing because I had everything marked on the plans. Because we actually put extra receptacles in, and then on the outside, because we did a lot of Christmas, I had 6 individual circuits that went out there that were 20 amps just for the front yard. So I actually had a time clock and everything for all that, and for the eaves and all of that on the house. So that was pretty cool, the things that we did back then. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My headphones must have messed up or something. Cause I thought you were muted. I was like, man, you're muted. I can't even hear you.
Well, now you sound fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
But anyway, I've already done the meme of the week, which you missed.
Nice.
And I ran the intro to the audio for Myth of the Week, and I was just about to pull it up. So I'll go ahead and pull it up. If you want
Nice.
to say anything on it, shoot, man, have at it.
Alrighty.
I'll go from there.
All right. Well, welcome to the Myth of the Week. This week, this is based on a lot of guys think that you could just use any screw to attach those wiring devices to these plastic Carlon boxes. I think it would apply pretty much to any box, whether it be a Carlon plastic box or a metal box. And I know a lot of times guys get mad about this, like when you're trying to do like a house or something and you have some of those screw holes are like stripped out or whatever. We had, I don't even know how, don't even tell me how, I've never seen this in my career, 27 years. Somehow somebody was able to jam an 832 in there and strip it out. So, some of that stuff, when you see that, like that 832 would have been correct, but you have to tap that hole to a 8 instead of trying to do it with the 6. And, like I say, this is kind of a one that I kind of stole from Mike Holt. Every now and then, Mike Holt does a live stream, which I really appreciate. He does a live stream anytime he records like new segments, and it's pretty much like all day that he's live. And so he actually takes some of his pictures for some of his pictures of the week, and he takes them from his own house. And so there was a picture where he actually had a drywall of those, what I call the bugle head wood rocket. Pretty funny story about that. My apprentice one time came up to me and he's like, hey, we need to get some more bugle head wood rockets. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, we need more bugle head wood rockets. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so basically it's just a fancy name for a drywall screw. So I always joke around about that every time. That's what I call them. I call them bugle head wood rockets now because I know what their actually physical name is, but it's just a joke that I do. But anyway, they had this picture, and it was funny too because a couple of the Mike's panel were streaming live at the same time he was streaming live, and I was like, hey, tell Mike he has the most code violations out of any code teacher at his house, and yeah, it was funny. I don't think he thought it was really hilarious or anything, but it's just funny because a lot of times when you're trying to get those pictures, it is kind of easy to just get them at your own house, but it was just funny. It was kind of a funny, comical thing, but This actually myth is actually not. This is actually false. They are not permitted to fasten receptacles to plastic boxes or any other boxes unless they are of the 32 thread count. And I believe that was 406 dot five. Yep, 406.5. I can't remember exactly, and I don't know if this is a 2023 or the 2020, but James and I have mostly been staying in the 2020 and stuff. So
Yeah, it literally tells you right there that you'll use some machine screws having 32-inch threads per inch. I mean, it just tells you that, or it's something that's part of a listed assembly or system, or it's a type that they allow that's in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Now, one of the things I found interesting, because I remember going out looking at a lot of different things over time, and I remember we were out in the county one time, and uh, they were in the rough stage. I was going out there actually look at some grounding they were having problems with because there's a really rocky area, and they all the receptacles and everything that they had put in, and the switches and everything they had actually used drywall. And I,
oh wow,
and I said, y'all can't use those. And he goes, well, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, those hold better than 832s. I said, even if that's true, I said, you can't do that. I said, the code tells you can't do that. And I said, go over and look at 406.5. And he told me, he goes, well, I'm in the county. He goes, I'm the jurisdiction here. And he goes, that's the way I'm doing it. That's exactly
wow,
what he told me. And that was before we went to a state license. So in the county, they pretty much just did whatever they wanted to do. And what was interesting, Dad and I did a lot of stuff in the county. And most of the time when we were going out in rural county areas, we were going in looking at grounding. And the reason we were doing that because, you had uh, big dairy farms out in those areas where they had the cows and stuff out there, and they had the stanchions and the pens and everything, the milking machines, and there was a certain way everything needed to be grounded, and you basically wanted to treat it almost like a swimming pool. You wanted to have an equipotential plane out there,
right,
and we were out there, and hell, and I'm telling the truth when I tell you this, we were going through the ground, we were taking readings and stuff, and you would see them. There was this one cow, he was sitting there and his leg was just shaking, and he probably wasn't more than 10 yards from us. And I'm kidding you not, the cow just fell over and died because
wow,
he was picking up current through there. And so we finally figured out what was doing, and they basically had created a grounding electrode system over at this building, and they had one at the other building, and I would say they were probably about 100 yards apart, and that current was trying to run through there,
yeah,
through the ground, and we had to correct all of that for them, show them what to do. But back then, up until they adopted the state license, I'm telling you, out in the county, we used to see stuff like this all the time,
yeah.
and you would take and have